Hello and welcome to Mega Conference QuizBowl. I'm your host, John Webster. Today's game is between Trenton High School and Romulus High School. The Trenton team is coached by Jason Zarnick. Trenton students, would you please introduce yourselves?
Anthony Bardaway, Jr.
Laura McClellan, Senior.
Tony Preston, Senior Captain.
Ben Topping, Sophomore.
Okay, thanks. The Romulus team is coached by Sean Shivnan. Romulus students, would you please introduce yourselves now?
Kevin Stogie, Jr.
Adam Delay, Senior. John McLaughlin, Senior Captain.
Mike Bujak, Jr.
Okay, thanks. The first quarter of our game consists of 15 toss-up questions worth 10 points each. Teams may not confer. Please wait till I call on you before responding. Okay, here we go. Caffeine is defined as a stimulating alkaloid. It is used in many popular beverages such as tea, coffee, and soda pop. Yet its effect upon the consumer is becoming more and more a concern. Could you identify caffeine if you saw it? What color is caffeine in its powder form? Ben?
Brown.
Incorrect. Kevin?
White.
Yes, white. It is one of the three layers of the heart wall. The other two are the epicardium and the endocardium. It is mostly made up of cardiac... John?
Pericardium.
Incorrect. It is mostly made up of cardiac muscle. Name this the middle layer. Anthony?
Enterocardium.
No, it's the myocardium. Sleep or slumber has been the topic of many poetic stanzas. What poet penned these lines about sleep? Dreams of the summer night, tell her her lover keeps watch. While in slumber's light she sleeps, my lady sleeps. Okay, time, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. These very small protists are not made up of cells. When certain types grow in humans, the human can get sick with the flu. What are these protists which cause the flu? John?
Viruses.
Yes, correct. In the back of many nonfiction's book, let me try that again in English this time. In the back of many nonfiction books, you find an alphabetical list of names and topics as well as page numbers. What is this part of the book, Tony?
Index.
Correct. It is defined by Article 1, Section 7 of the United States Constitution. What type of veto used 260 times by FDR basically kills any bill not signed by the President within 10 days? Anthony?
Pocket veto.
Correct. If a right triangle has a hypotenuse equal to 5 inches and one side equal to 4 inches, what is the length? Tony?
3.
Correct. In the 1936 Olympics, Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals in the 100 and 200 meter races, the long jump, and the 4x100 relay. What American athlete matched this feat at the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles? Mike?
Carl Lewis.
Correct. In physics, what is the ability of a body to resist tension, torsion, shearing, or compression, and to recover its original shape and size? Tony?
Elasticity.
Correct. Referring to foreign policy, what did the acronym SALT? Adam?
Strategic Arms Limitation Talks.
Correct. Pencil and paper. Find the second derivative of the following function. 10x to the fourth minus 12x cubed plus 4x squared plus 10. John?
120x squared minus 72x plus 8.
Correct. Upon taking office, he was rejected by Democrats and Whigs alike and lost all but one member of his cabinet to resignation. However, he reorganized the Navy, established the U.S. Weather Bureau. Adam?
Andrew Jackson.
Incorrect. And ended Dorr's Rebellion in the Second Seminole War. Tony?
John Tyler.
Correct. What is the term that names a postulated opening in time and space through which an object must be launched to achieve a desired encounter? Mike?
Wormhole.
Incorrect. Okay, time, it's called a launch window. Name the former U.S. president who recently announced a plan to train nurses in AIDS care in the country that has the world's second largest number of HIV/AIDS cases. Anthony?
Jimmy Carter.
Incorrect. John?
Bill Clinton.
Yes, Bill Clinton. Of Which country's billion-plus population, more than 5.1 billion people, are living with HIV/AIDS, making it the second worst affected nation after South Africa? Ben?
China?
Incorrect. John?
India?
India is right. Okay, that is the first quarter. We'll be back in a minute to pick up the second quarter of our match. The second quarter of our game is about to begin. This round consists of 8 toss-up questions worth 10 points each. A correct answer entitles that team to bonus questions worth between 20 and 30 points. Teams may confer on the bonuses, but only the captains may give the answers. Here we go with the toss-up. This unit of measure is defined as 1 coulomb of electric charge flowing past any point in a conduction in 1 second. What is it? Tony?
1 volt.
Incorrect. John?
An amp.
Correct. Bonus, 3 questions, 10 points each. Answer these questions about the novel The Mill on the Floss. You've all read that recently, I'm sure. Who is its author?
Steinbeck.
Incorrect. Up to Trenton?
Perles Buck.
George Eliot. That was the easy question. Now, Romulus. What was the name of Dorlcote Mill's miller?
Jesus. What the Miller?
John?
Joseph.
Incorrect.
Benjamin.
Mr. Tulliver. And I don't know his first name. What was the name of the miller's daughter?
Mrs. Tulliver. Bessie.
John?
Mary.
Incorrect.
Bessie.
Margaret or Maggie? Okay, another toss-up. Cameroon is nearly twice the size of Oregon. Its principal religion is Islam. On what continent will one find... Kevin?
Africa.
Correct. Yes. 2 questions, 10 points each. Extra embryonic membranes are formed to support, nourish, and protect the embryos. First, with extra embryonic membrane completely... Which extra embryonic membrane completely surrounds the embryo and encloses a cavity filled with fluid?
Just say amp.
John?
No answer.
Okay, up to Trenton.
It's amnio something. Amnioplast.
Amnioplast.
I can't accept that. It's amnion. And of birds, reptiles, fish, and mammals, which does not possess extra embryonic membranes?
Sort of reptiles.
John?
Reptiles.
Incorrect. Up to Trenton.
What were the choices? Birds, mammals, reptiles. Those gotta be birds.
Tony?
Birds.
No, we're narrowing it down, but it's fish. Okay, another toss-up. This basketball player from Southern Illinois University later became a pro star with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. He was named the most valuable player in the National Invitational Tournament in 1967. Who was this premier defensive guard of the National Basketball Association? Mike?
Reed.
Incorrect. Okay, time, Walter Clyde Frazier. Another toss-up. AFDC is the most costly and possibly one of the most controversial public assistance programs in the United States. What does the acronym AFDC stand for? Okay, time, aid to families with dependent children. Another toss-up. By its very definition, the term astronomical unit is equal in length to the distance from the Earth to what? Ben?
The sun.
Correct. 2 questions, 10 points each. Identify these periods of American architecture. It expressed the newfound prosperity of the colonies and spanned the years 1720 to 1790. An example is the Longfellow House in Massachusetts.
Colonialism.
Incorrect. Down to Romulus.
Georgia on my mind.
Georgian?
Yes, that's correct. Back up to Trenton. It served as a sort of symbol of a new democracy and spanned the years 1790 to 1820. A leading sponsor of architecture during this time was Thomas Jefferson, who ushered in a sort of neoclassical revival of Roman architecture.
Colonialism?
Incorrect.
Neo-Romanism.
Neo-Roman.
Federal period.
Close
It
enough.
was neoclassical, but it's called the Federal period. Okay, now the toss-up. This type of accounting system is the one most in use. Equal debit and credit entries must be made for each and every transaction when using this type of system. What is this type of accounting system called? Ben?
Revolving?
Incorrect. Mike?
ATM.
It's a double entry system. Another toss-up. The exhaust for motor vehicles is the chief source of photochemical pollutants. Automakers have learned to make a device that changes these pollutants into harmless water vapor and carbon dioxide before they leave the vehicle. Name this device. Tony?
Catalytic converter.
Correct. 2 questions, 10 points each. Consider the equation x squared plus y squared equals 4. What is the radius of the circle?
2.
Correct. And what are the coordinates at the center of the circle?
0, 0.
Correct. Okay, now the toss-up. This television game show was a regular on NBC Daytime from 1958 to 1973. Hugh Downs was its host for many years. Its basic premise was 2 contestants facing a game board with 30 squares. Behind each square there was a prize. The contestant had to match the 2 squares that contained the same prize until he or she had revealed enough of the puzzle behind the prize to solve its meaning. Name this game show. A similar version of it returned in 1987 with Alex Trebek as host. Tony?
Jeopardy.
Incorrect. Third please. Okay, time. It was called concentration. Okay, that ends the first half of the game. We'll be back in a minute to pick up with the third quarter. We're back to begin the third quarter of our match. The score after the first half is Romulus High School 100 points, Trenton High School 90 points. Good close match. And we have no substitutes to introduce, so our third quarter is our lightning round. Each team has 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. Teams may confer, but only the captains may give the answers. Trenton, the trailing team in this case, has its first choice of these topics. U.S. geography, not waterfalls. Monetary units, let me throw in pre-Euro, and pop music.
Monetary units.
Okay. With 60 seconds on the clock, list the following countries' monetary unit. Simple as that. Here we go. Canada.
Dollar.
Correct. Colombia.
Peso.
Correct. Ecuador.
Peso.
Incorrect. Egypt.
No, I don't know. Pass.
Pass.
Germany.
Deutschmark.
Correct. Greece.
Pass.
Iran.
Pass.
Iraq.
Pass.
Japan.
Yen.
Correct. And Jamaica.
Dollar.
Correct. Back to Egypt.
Dollar.
Pass.
And Greece.
Lira. What? Lira. Lira.
Incorrect. Iran.
Pass.
Iraq.
Pass.
Egypt.
Dollar.
Incorrect. And we're out of time. 2, 3, 4. So you get 5 of them. So 5 now pass to Romulus with 30 seconds on the clock. Romulus. Ecuador.
Ecuadorian dollar.
Dollar.
Incorrect. Egypt.
Egyptian dollars. No. They already said dollar. I don't know. Pass it. Pass it.
Pass.
Greece.
Grecian. Try rupee. Rupee is a yes. Pass.
Iran.
Rupee. Iranian. No, seriously, rupee. Try that one.
Ruby.
Incorrect. Iraq.
Sandal.
We're out of time. Ecuador is the sucre. Egypt, they use the pound, based on the British pound, because so many British people there at one time. Greece was the drachma before the euro. Iran is the rial, and Iraq is the dinar. Okay, now, Romulus, you have your choice of U.S. geography or pop music.
Pop music.
Pop music.
Okay, with 60 seconds on the clock, give the name of the original artist or group who sang the following songs. Here we go. It's My Prerogative.
Madonna.
Madonna.
Incorrect. Everything I do for you.
I don't know.
Pass.
Vogue.
Madonna.
Madonna.
Correct. Blaze of Glory.
Pass.
Black Cat.
Pass.
Restless.
Pass.
Pretty Woman.
Pass.
Straight Up.
Paul Abdul.
Correct. The Love Shack.
B-52s.
Correct. From a Distance.
Pass.
Back to Everything I Do for You.
Go ahead.
No, it's not Aerosmith. Try it.
Pass.
Blaze of Glory.
Chariots of Fire.
Chariots of Fire.
Incorrect. Black Cat.
Cat Stevens.
Incorrect. Restless. Out of time. Okay, and you got 1, 2, 3 correct, so 7 now pass to Trenton with 30 seconds on the clock. Trenton, it's My Prerogative.
Pass.
Everything I do for you.
Moonstar.
Incorrect. Blaze of Glory.
Pass.
Black Cat.
Pass.
Restless.
Pass.
Pretty Woman.
It's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Incorrect. From a Distance.
Celine Dion.
Incorrect. And we're out of time. It's My Prerogative is Bobby Brown. Everything I do for you, Bryan Adams. Blaze of Glory, John Bon Jovi. Black Cat, Janet Jackson. Restless, Garth Brooks. Pretty Woman, Roy Orbison. And From a Distance, Bette Midler. Okay, ends the third quarter. We'll be back in a minute to finish up this game. The fourth quarter of the game is about to begin. This round consists of 15 toss-up questions worth 20 points each. Here we go. While on a speaking tour of the U.S., he introduced Winston Churchill. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the son of an American mother and an English father, the perfect man. Identify this American author. Okay, time. Mark Twain. Interesting, you think Mark Twain and Churchill together. These are typically found in deserts, commonly just inland from beaches. Kevin?
Oasis.
Incorrect. Formed when wind deposits sand around rocks or plants. Ben?
Sand dunes.
Correct. The stock market is presently in a state of fluorescence. Is this a period of a downward slide, prosperity, mixed returns, or serious loss? Ben?
Downward slide.
Incorrect. John?
Mixed returns.
No, prosperity. Let x represent a number. Now triple that number. Add 3 to the result, and then divide the whole by 5y. What expression is the result? John?
3x plus 3, the quantity over 5y.
Correct. You've probably seen these laws posted on the wall of a classroom, or maybe you've seen them in an office or on a teacher's desk. Teachers, more than possibly anyone else, seem to abide by them. They state that anything that can go wrong will. Anything that... Ben?
Murphy's Law?
Correct. Have you heard it said, it's all in the timing? Well, in music, that's true. What do you call 3 notes that are played in the time of 2 of the same value? John?
A triplet.
Correct. Its atomic weight is 150.4. Its atomic number is 62. Please give the chemical symbol of the element samarium. John?
SM.
Correct. Hollywood Squares was first seen on network television in 1968. Its host was Peter Marshall. One comedian, though he had not appeared but 6 times on the nighttime show, became a regular on the daytime series. He also played the role of Uncle Arthur on Bewitched. Name the celebrity whose favorite square was in the center. Okay, time, it's Paul Lind. What do you call a market structure where there is only one buyer for a particular factor of production? Kevin?
Centrally planned.
Incorrect. Tony?
Command.
No, it's called monopsony. What is the name of the G.P. Morris poem that begins with, "Woodman, spare that tree, touch not a single bough"? Okay, time, it's called The Oak. Anorexia nervosa is a disorder characterized by an obsessive concern with one's weight. One with this disease is intensely afraid of becoming obese. Females under 30 years of age are the most susceptible to this disorder. What disorder characterized by an excessive appetite is the opposite? John?
Bulimia.
Incorrect. Opposite of anorexia nervosa. Okay, time, it's called hyperexia. It is something that sticks out. Jimmy Durante had a large protuberance on his face. Spell the word protuberance. John?
Protuberance.
Correct. This animal lives at the highest altitude of any animal. It is found 20,000 feet above sea level in the Himalayas. Name this wild ox of Tibet. Anthony?
Yak.
Correct. Name the U.S. governor who underwent an emergency appendectomy and continued to be hospitalized 5 days after he checked himself into the hospital after suffering from severe abdominal pain. Tony?
Bloomberg.
Incorrect. Okay, time, it's George Pataki. Health and farm workers wearing protective clothing recently began slaughtering hundreds of thousands of chickens in what country, hoping to prevent the spread of bird flu, while neighboring Nepal said it was banning imports of all poultry from that country, and Bangladesh said it would increase surveillance along the border to prevent bird smuggling. Anthony?
India.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, that ends the game. We'll be back in a minute for the final score. The final score of today's game is Trenton High School 220 points, Romulus High School 210 points. Very close contest, rough for Romulus. Congratulations, Trenton. In our next match, Robichaud High School will face Crestwood High School. Please join us then. This is John Webster saying goodbye for Mega Conference Quiz Bowl.